Hello everyone and welcome back to Winter 89 Colors. My name is Melissa and I am here today with a speed color along for you. So we're going to be working in Goblincore, which is a Chartwell book, which means that these are Shutterstock images. I'm going to be doing the first little bit of this video in 2x speed, and then I will speed it up to 4x speed for you so that it doesn't take too long. So, the reason I decided to film this video for you today was because I know that some people struggle with using watercolor pencils, particularly the Albrecht Durers. So I thought that I would just do a quick little demo of how I would do it. This is not me proclaiming that this is how it should be done or that I know anything about it. This is simply how I would go about using the watercolor pencils activated to achieve a watercolor look. So I do it in speed because I don't claim that this is in any way a tutorial or a how-to. This is just simply a demo of what I would do and how this picture was achieved. If you have any further questions, do feel free to send me a message on Instagram or comment down below, and maybe I can help you out with what it is that you're struggling with, just based on my own personal experience. So for most of this video, it will be done with Albrecht Durers laid down as a pencil and then using a water brush over top to then spread the pigment. So, the paper in this book is surprisingly good. So it is fairly glossy, and the water does sit on top of it for a little while before soaking in, which is ideal for watercolor. Now, by the end of this, the page does warp reasonably significantly, but that is because I used an inordinate amount of water to do this. You know, you could have done this probably with a lot less water, but the look that I wanted to achieve required a lot more, so it ended up warping the paper despite the fact that it is fairly high quality paper. But you'll notice that the technique that I'm using for most of this is that I lay down my color in my shadow areas. Very messy, absolutely no technique to it whatsoever. I'm just literally slopping the pencil on. And then with my water brush, I will go in and I will wet the highlight areas first, and then I will drag the pigment from the shadow into the highlight areas. By doing this, I'm already pre-wetting the paper, meaning that the pigment glides across that water much more smoothly and creates that watercolor effect. And we're starting in the dark and dragging into our light, so we have a lot of control over how much pigment we're using. So I do this for most of the page, and I just go layer on top of layer on top of layer, and that is how I end up with the look that I do end up with at the end. At the very end of the video, I do pull in some actual watercolor paints. Some of them are by MAB Watercolours on Etsy, and some of them are by The Attic Company on Etsy. I will link those both in the description below. And I use those for their metallic and glitter paints so that I can create some just fun little highlights at the end of the video. So I will leave you here. You can go ahead and have a look and see how I get this done. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment. Make sure to subscribe and like, and enjoy the rest of the video. Thank you so much. Bye-bye now.